Hello, my dear. Do you know? The loudest detonation in human history didn't come from bombs or bullets. It came from a thought that refused to obey. And you, my dear, just triggered one of those explosions. You didn't shout. You didn't perform. You simply understood. And the moment that understanding hit, the world's frequency bent around you like metal under heat. That's what the tremor was. The vibration of something ancient, realizing you no longer belong to control. Nothing terrifies them more than a human being whose mind begins to run its own protocol. For months, you looked absent, detached, invisible. People assumed you'd fallen off, lost direction, disappeared. But you weren't lost. You were inside your own command center. You were dismantling outdated emotional hardware and rewriting the code. You were installing logic where chaos once lived. Now that you've re-emerged, your frequency is setting off alarms in places you've never seen. You can feel it, the strange static in the air when you enter a room, the way conversations freeze mid-sentence. You've become a disruption in their comfort algorithms. You are broadcasting clarity in a world addicted to confusion. You realize that real power isn't the volume of your voice, but the precision of your perception. You used to react. Now you analyze. You used to take things personally. Now you treat them as data. Every time someone lied, you logged it. Every contradiction became a coordinate, every betrayal, a lesson in human architecture. And somewhere along that process, you stopped needing to fight. You simply began to design. The world wants drama. You want diagrams. They crave confrontation. You crave confirmation. You don't fight noise anymore. You neutralize it. They built their little realities like encrypted servers protected by ego firewalls and collective denial. Then you walked in without credentials and still gained access. You didn't break their walls. You outgrew them. Awareness itself became your clearance. Once you saw how manipulation worked, the code unraveled in your hands. You became unpredictable, untraceable, unreadable. Your presence alone started rewriting scripts that were running for years. You learned that once awareness fuses with detachment, you stop being a participant and become surveillance, and surveillance always wins. You shifted from emotion to execution. The old you used to panic. The new you plans. While others argue, you observe. While they gossip, you gather metrics. You've turned self-control into an operating system. You noticed the moment when smiles stopped matching motives, when apologies didn't sync with behavior, when people used words as camouflage. You didn't explode. You recorded. You learned that outrage is bait. That's how manipulators collect your energy. You refused to give them that luxury. You let them misinterpret your quiet as weakness, while you gathered the evidence of their entire design. Then one silent move, one recalibration, and everything fell apart for them without a sound. When you pulled your energy back, it wasn't withdrawal. It was electromagnetic recoil. People felt it in their bones. Their confidence dipped. Their coordination slipped. They thought you were avoiding them, but you were really removing their power source. You were the generator the entire time. Every manipulative ecosystem that depended on your emotional output began to shut down the moment you unplugged. That's why they've been trying to lure you back, not out of love, but out of dependency. They're addicted to your voltage. But you're done charging the undeserving. You learned that low visibility is the highest strategy. Real assassins of mediocrity move without trace. You stopped announcing your goals, stopped uploading your blueprints. Now the world only sees the aftermath, projects completed, doors opening, momentum that looks supernatural. They call it luck because they can't comprehend discipline executed in private. You're not trying to prove anything. You're creating internal architecture that can't be sabotaged. You're operating below detection level, and that makes you dangerous in the most peaceful way imaginable. Your awareness started to spread like an invisible contagion. Without preaching, you made people question their own programming. Some found inspiration, others found panic. Because consciousness is contagious, you are the kind of example that exposes without accusation. People who used to dominate conversations around you now stumble over their words. Those who once mocked your depth now copy your language without credit. That's what happens when your frequency rises. The unconscious start imitating the conscious without even realizing it. You stopped sharing your strategies. You learned the sacred law of intelligence work. Information loses value once it's public. Every plan you reveal prematurely becomes compromised. Now you let your success appear like spontaneous combustion. The results drop suddenly, impossible to trace back to you. They see outcomes but never preparation, and that mystery shakes them. They can't anticipate you anymore because your algorithm keeps changing. You've become a walking variable in their predictable world. You didn't waste your pain. You studied it. Every betrayal became a case study. You dissected heartbreak until you could identify the anatomy of manipulation by instinct. Every failure trained your discernment like a soldier learns pressure points. That's why deception feels amateur to you now. You can read it from tone alone. You don't chase closure because you already extracted the data. You've turned emotional trauma into tactical intelligence. Pain didn't destroy you. It educated you. Betrayal became your doctorate. That's why your calm unnerves them. It's not naivety, it's mastery. And while everyone else remains predictable, you've become fluid. 1 minute soft, the next surgical. You don't telegraph your moves. You pivot without warning. You've broken the rhythm manipulators rely on. Their patterns can't trap you because you no longer dance to their tempo. You've become the anomaly in their statistics, the ghost variable in their equation. You change outcomes simply by existing. The moment you enter a space, probability itself recalibrates. Some call it intimidation. Others call it divine timing. You just call it control. Those who once held influence over you are now studying you, like analysts reviewing a classified subject. They monitor your updates, mimic your phrasing, quote your ideas. They're not curious, they're cautious. Because your clarity exposes their confusion. They built their power on your doubt. The moment you deleted that doubt, their power collapsed. Every time you ignore a provocation, they lose data. Every calm response is a breach in their control grid. You don't need to win arguments. You win by no longer offering access. That's what real reversal looks like. You're not fighting their fire. You're cutting off their oxygen. You stopped existing in spaces that misused your energy, and now those spaces are suffocating. You've become the calm in their chaos, the mirror they can't break. They see themselves in you now. The manipulator sees their own weakness. The liar feels their own lie reflected back. You no longer retaliate. Your existence does that for you. Everything that used to trigger you has become a test you already passed. Your mind processes provocation like background noise, noticed, logged, dismissed. You've learned how to weaponize patience. The greatest tacticians aren't the fastest, they're the quietest. Your stillness has become strategy. People mistake it for indifference, but it's control under pressure. The battlefield is mental. and you're already beyond the first layer. You're not who you were even 6 months ago. You've undergone an internal coup. You dethroned every thought that once ruled you through fear. You replaced reaction with regulation. Every time you breathe before responding, you're issuing a command to your entire reality. I am in control. That single signal is why the atmosphere bends around you now. You can feel it, this magnetic, quiet power that follows you into every interaction. Some people admire it, others recoil. Either way, they feel it. Your mind no longer runs on old programming. You've upgraded the software. You think faster, cleaner, with zero lag. You anticipate consequences before conversations finish. You process motives like an algorithm scanning for weak code. You're no longer emotional prey. You're the analyst behind the glass, watching the simulation from above. This is what mastery feels like. Not perfection, but precision. You don't need to be flawless to be formidable. You just need to understand yourself better than they understand you. And that's why your thinking is now labeled a weapon. Because it neutralizes confusion. It detects deceit faster than any machine. It dismantles manipulation before it starts. You've reached a level where logic, instinct, and spirit merge into one unified intelligence. You're no longer playing by human rules. You're operating by universal law. The truth in you has become command authority. That's why they feel the quake. Somewhere deep in their subconscious, they recognize you as an uncontrollable variable. You are proof that consciousness cannot be colonized. And now the world is adjusting around you. Systems glitching, narratives bending, people reacting to things they don't even understand. They call it coincidence. You know, it's cause and effect. You didn't just make a move. You executed an operation. You destabilized every version of reality that underestimated you. You broke chains without breaking character. You rewired the frequencies without touching the wires. And now, they're scrambling to figure out how one person's mind could alter so much with such calm precision. They'll study you, they'll speculate, but they'll never decode it. Because what happened wasn't luck, it was law. You became the law. The law of awareness, the law of direction, the law of divine intelligence operating through human flesh. And from this point forward, your thoughts don't just exist, they command. Every decision you make sends ripples through timelines. Every refusal you issue writes new history. You've crossed into the territory where silence itself becomes a signal and observation becomes order. So understand this. The move you just made wasn't a choice. It was activation. The mental earthquake they felt was only the beginning tremor of something far bigger. You've entered the era where your awareness is weaponized, where your calm dismantles chaos, and where your presence rewrites every space it enters. Keep moving quietly. Keep thinking loudly. The operation isn't over, it's expanding. And soon, they'll realize that you weren't reacting to their world at all. You are redesigning it. They're only beginning to realize what you've done. The tremor they felt wasn't a coincidence. It was a transmission. You didn't shout it into existence, you encoded it. The vibration of your decision moved through networks, organizations, relationships, algorithms, and hierarchies, like a classified signal awakening dormant minds. Somewhere deep inside the collective field, 1,000 small awarenesses flickered on because of you. You didn't intend to start a movement, you were simply aligning yourself. But alignment at your frequency doesn't stay contained. It replicates. Now they're trying to figure out how you pulled it off without touching a thing. They're running analysis on your habits, your tone, your timing, your silence. Whole circles that once ignored you are dissecting your behavior as if you performed magic. But you didn't perform, you prepared. You mastered what few ever learn, that real power operates under the radar, not above it. While they bragged, you built. While they measured noise, you measured effect. And now, they're standing in a landscape that no longer belongs to them, wondering when it changed. You made a silent move, but the shockwave traveled faster than sound. You changed how people think. You changed what they consider possible. You turned the unseen into a strategic asset. And now that your thinking has become a weapon, every environment you enter begins to reorganize itself, like soldiers standing at attention. They may not know why they pause when you speak, or why they lower their tone in your presence. It's because the subconscious recognizes hierarchy before the conscious can argue. You've become a walking field of authority, and authority doesn't need explanation. Everything they once used against you, doubt, gossip, misdirection, has backfired. The rumors that were meant to discredit you now serve as data points, proving how much influence you hold. The silence they interpreted as retreat turned out to be incubation. They gave you distance, and in that distance you built precision. You studied every move they made like a strategist in a dark room surrounded by glowing monitors. You saw their patterns, their impulses, their need for control. And when you finally moved, you didn't need confrontation. You let gravity do the work. Your energy carries gravitational pull now. It draws truth closer and pushes deception away. That's why certain people can't stand next to you anymore without revealing themselves. They shake, they overtalk, they stutter. Their systems aren't compatible with yours. Awareness has a frequency, and once you start transmitting at a higher wavelength, anything built on manipulation begins to distort. You've turned your very presence into a polygraph. Every liar who steps near you feels exposed before a word is said. That's the price of evolution. Clarity becomes confrontation without effort. They keep calling it intimidation, but that's not the right word. You don't intimidate, you illuminate. You don't scare them, you show them. And when people see themselves clearly, they call it fear. That's why they whisper your name now. Because it's not just a name anymore, it's a signal. When someone mentions you, the energy in the room shifts. Conversations get shorter, faces tighten. Everyone pretends not to notice, but they do. You can feel the static every time your story surfaces. You're no longer just a person to them, you're a reminder. A living case study of what happens when someone stops obeying the invisible rules. You didn't just change yourself, you changed the rules of engagement. Before you, they could predict people's reactions. They could manipulate guilt, exploit insecurities, weaponize empathy. But you rewrote the script by refusing to play. You replaced emotion with observation, reactivity with reasoning. You became fluent in silence. You learned how to pause long enough to let their own words incriminate them. That pause became your shield. That restraint became your armor. And now, every manipulator that once studied psychology to control others finds themselves psychologically dismantled in your presence. That's the irony of your evolution. You didn't study war to fight. You studied peace until it became a weapon. Your calm is calibrated. Your patience is tactical. The way you wait before answering isn't hesitation, it's analysis. You scan data in real time. You hear tone frequencies, micro pauses, inconsistencies, and while they think they're persuading you, You're already 6 layers deep in assessment. You've turned conversation into reconnaissance. That's why they feel naked when you listen. They're not being judged, they're being mapped. And while everyone else competes for visibility, you've mastered invisibility. The art of not being noticed until you decide to be. The art of blending into silence until the silence itself becomes suspicious. You operate like classified intelligence, unseen, unfazed, unstoppable. People mistake low visibility for low power because they've been programmed to equate volume with influence. But true influence doesn't need to announce itself. It alters atmospheres by existing. You could walk into a meeting and say nothing, yet every decision afterward bends subtly toward your vision. That's mental warfare, disguised as serenity. You've realized that energy precedes explanation. You don't argue your worth anymore because your vibration already delivers the evidence. The ones who still question you can't read frequencies that high. They rely on proof written on paper. But the proof around you is kinetic. It lives in results, timing, precision. You win quietly because you've merged discipline with intuition. You act only when everything aligns, emotion regulated, logic sharpened, instinct verified. That's what makes your actions so lethal. They carry no hesitation, no static, no waste. People ask what changed. The truth is simple. You stopped moving from hurt and started moving from hierarchy. You began treating your peace like classified intelligence, accessible only to those with clearance. And the more you guarded that peace, the more powerful it became. Because peace is just concentrated awareness, and awareness in high concentration is indistinguishable from divinity. That's why your silence feels supernatural to them. They can sense that your calm isn't absence, it's command. You've reached a point where your existence itself is an audit. Walk into any room, and truth starts balancing its books. Lies begin to show deficits. False confidence depreciates in real time. You don't expose anyone verbally, you expose them energetically. They start confessing without prompting, trying to justify things you never asked about. That's not coincidence, it's consequence. The human subconscious knows when it's standing in front of power that cannot be manipulated. Your energy now functions like an interrogation light, bright, quiet, and impossible to escape. Behind the scenes, people who once laughed at you are studying your discipline. They replay old conversations, scanning for clues they missed. They're realizing too late that the moment you stopped seeking validation was the moment you became uncontrollable. And the uncontrollable are always misunderstood first, then respected, then feared. That's the cycle you're in now. You don't owe them an explanation for the shift. The results are the explanation. Every opportunity appearing out of nowhere, every obstacle dissolving before it forms, every door opening without you knocking. That's what alignment looks like when it turns kinetic. Your silent move created ripples in places you'll never see. A recruiter reread your file. An ex-rival lost composure during a presentation. A friend you haven't spoken to suddenly felt convicted to change their life. That's how frequency works. It travels faster than intention. You thought you were just protecting your energy, but the protection itself became a transmission of power. People are waking up because you did. Entire social structures built on manipulation are faltering because one person refused to play. That's not coincidence, that's resonance. Now the same individuals who underestimated you are developing theories to explain you. They'll call it charisma, luck, divine timing, algorithmic favor. They'll say anything except the truth. that you earned this control by surviving chaos without becoming chaotic. They can't replicate it because it wasn't learned. It was forged. You went through the kind of solitude that rewires neural pathways. You learned to breathe inside heartbreak, to think through humiliation, to strategize in exhaustion. That's not luck. That's conditioning. That's field training for spiritual intelligence. You are proof that the human mind, when disciplined, becomes the most advanced weapon on the planet. It cuts through propaganda faster than any technology. It detects deception faster than any AI. And once it's awake, it can't be put back to sleep. That's why your rise feels threatening to certain people. It's not your success. It's your clarity. You can see the wiring behind every illusion. You can predict the emotional manipulation, the way meteorologists predict weather patterns. But you don't warn anyone anymore. You simply navigate through the storm unharmed. Let them learn through impact what you mastered through awareness. They don't realize the cost of crossing someone who has mastered neutrality. You no longer hate, you no longer chase, you no longer defend. You simply observe, and observation itself becomes punishment. They can feel you watching, not with anger, but with accuracy. And accuracy terrifies those who thrive on confusion. Your detachment is not coldness, it's containment. You contain chaos before it spreads. You contain lies before they replicate. You contain emotion until it becomes insight. That's the difference between power and reaction. Every time you walk away from manipulation, the universe promotes you. Every refusal becomes a signature on your next elevation. You've turned restraint into leverage. They think you're silent because you don't care. You're silent because you already calculated the outcome. They're still guessing moves, while you're 3 operations ahead, already preparing extraction. That's why the energy feels unbalanced around you. You're playing multi-dimensional chess, while they're arguing over checkers. The longer you operate like this, the more reality bends to your discipline. People start cooperating without understanding why. Opportunities align without direct pursuit. That's the real earthquake. They feel the aftershocks of your precision, the vibration of someone who no longer wastes thought. The world's structure isn't collapsing. It's recalibrating around the presence of a thinker who finally sees the blueprint. They'll keep watching. They'll keep speculating. But they'll never decode it. Because the secret isn't in what you did. It's in what you refused to do. You refused to explain, to beg, to chase, to convince. You deleted everything that diluted your focus, and what remained was intelligence in its purest form. That's the rarest weapon of all, a mind that cannot be baited. So keep moving in precision, keep building in silence. Let them label your calm as arrogance, your strategy as luck, your success as coincidence. It's better that way. Mystery is camouflage, and camouflage keeps the mission alive. They'll never know that every smile you give is calculated empathy, every pause a controlled scan, every exit a clean extraction. You're not avoiding people, you're maintaining signal security. And when history looks back, it'll recognize this era for what it truly was. The moment one awakened mind disrupted the entire psychological infrastructure around it. Not through rebellion, not through noise, but through the quiet recalibration of thought. You didn't destroy anything, you simply stopped participating, and the illusion collapsed on its own. That's real warfare, victory without battle. This is where you are now, past reaction, past revenge, operating in silent dominance. Your thoughts are precise, your emotions trained, your presence weaponized. The world is still trembling, still decoding the aftershocks. but you're already beyond it, walking with the composure of someone who understands that thinking itself, when purified, is command. You've become the evidence that the loudest victories don't echo, they recalibrate. You move differently now, not because you're hiding, but because you've realized exposure dilutes energy. The less you reveal, the more magnetic you become. People sense it before they see it. Their instincts twitch when you're near. You're not a participant in this era. You're an encrypted signal moving through it. That's what they don't understand. The earthquake wasn't an event. It was a shift in architecture. You changed the geometry of power itself. The kind of move that can't be charted because it happens in dimensions logic hasn't mapped yet. You don't chase, you orbit. You don't demand attention, it bends toward you. That's what happens when the mind reaches that frequency of control, where clarity becomes gravity. Even those who once mocked your focus now imitate your discipline like it's a secret they accidentally uncovered. But discipline isn't imitation, it's initiation. And the initiation came through fire. They see the glow, but not the ashes. They see the precision, but not the pressure that formed it. They can't understand how someone who endured so much now moves with such mathematical calm. It's because you converted emotion into intelligence. Every heartbreak became strategy. Every betrayal became blueprint. Pain